This town in the middle of the Brazilian countryside really did surprise me, and it has turned out to be one of my favorite destinations that I have visited so far in Brazil. And virtually no foreigners who come to Brazil even know that this town exists. Yet this town is extremely popular with Brazilian tourism. The name of this city is Tiradentes, excuse my very bad Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation, and it is one of the many colonial towns located in the state of Minas Gerias. And likewise to other towns in the state such as Ouro Preto, gold was discovered here in the Brazilian gold rush, and the city is actually named after one of Brazil's most famous historical figures, Tiradentes, who fought against the Portuguese for Brazilian independence. He galvanized the Brazilian independence movement in the 18th century, but eventually he was publicly hanged by the Portuguese. Now, before I came to Tiradentes, I did read a lot online about people saying that the town is a bit of a tourist trap and it's a little bit overpriced, so I didn't have too high expectations coming here. And though yes, it is a little bit touristy, though again I emphasize just really Brazilian tourists, not many foreigners come here, I did love the town. It's very beautiful, as you can tell from these clips here. Cobblestone streets, beautiful architecture. But what I really loved about Tiradentes is the fact that the town is just full of cafes, coffee shops, bakeries, full of restaurants, great food everywhere, full of little bars where you can get beer and wine and local cachaça. And if I compare Tiradentes with, let's say, Ouro Preto, another historic town in Brazil, Tiradentes is much more flat compared with Ouro Preto, which is extremely hilly. Tiradentes, as you can tell from the clips here, is quite easy to walk around, and Tiradentes also has much less vehicle traffic compared with Ouro Preto. In the historic centre of Ouro Preto, there are so many cars and the noise of the cars is so annoying, and trying to cross the road is so annoying, whereas Tiradentes is much more calm. There are more pedestrianised areas in Tiradentes where cars can't pass by. And by the way, I'm not saying that Ouro Preto is bad, it's extremely beautiful, and in fact, if you do want to check out my Ouro Preto video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel right now and go to my channel homepage, check out this Ouro Preto video that you see on the screen there. I give you all the information that you need to know about visiting Ouro Preto. But back to Tiradentes, I have to say I did personally prefer Tiradentes. Now, I highly recommend that you come to Tiradentes at the weekend, because that's when it's going to be at its most vibrant. The coffee shops and the restaurants are going to be full, the bars are going to be full. And when I say full, I don't mean that the town is overcrowded and horrible. I mean that the town has a really nice, energetic vibe to it. Of course, accommodation prices will be a little bit higher at the weekend, but I do personally think it's worth it. But if you are on a budget, do stick to the end of this video, because I will explain how you can save money on accommodation for your trip to Tiradentes. But if you do come to Tiradentes at the weekend, you may be lucky enough to catch a festival there. There are always regular festivals that occur in the town. For example, when I was there was this wine festival going on, and you could buy wine and there was live music going on. Now, just out of interest, if you actually have visited Tiradentes before in the past, do comment below and let me know, especially if you are a foreigner, a non-Brazilian, because as I said, not many non-Brazilians know about this city. So do let me know if you've been here. Also, do let me know if you actually are planning a trip to Tiradentes sometime soon in the near future. Now, in terms of how to get to Tiradentes, there is actually a fun way of getting there, but I will describe that at the end of the video. But what you could do is you could head to the city of Belo Horizonte, and you can head to the Belo Horizonte bus terminal, the terminal Rodoviário, and this is the location of the bus terminal here. And what you need to do when you arrive at the bus terminal is you need to head to the São Luís stand. The São Luís company is the company that you need to travel with. So you have to walk past these counters here, and behind these counters you will find the São Luís counter. You buy your bus tickets there, and you want to purchase a ticket to a city called São João del Rei. That's the city that the bus terminates at. That's where you need to purchase your bus tickets to, and then you will end up at this bus terminal here. And at this bus terminal you can then catch a local bus over to Tiradentes. It will be about a 30-minute bus ride from there. Just make sure, if you don't have any physical reais in cash with you, make sure that at the São João bus terminal you do take out some cash, because you will need cash to purchase your bus tickets from São João over to Tiradentes. There are ATMs at the bus terminal in São João. Also, when you do purchase your tickets at São João to go to Tiradentes, you will have to pay a 9.5 reais tax to use the bus terminal. Just something to be aware of. Alternatively, if it is more convenient to travel from Rio, there are actually direct buses from Rio Novo bus station over to São João del Rei. The bus company that goes from Rio to São João is called Paraibuna. I've probably butchered that name. The Rio bus terminal is really big, so make sure you get there with plenty of time and then try and find the Paraibuna counter and buy your bus tickets there. Expect the journey to be around 6 hours to São João. And then again, when you arrive, you can then buy your local bus ticket to Tiradentes. Now, if you have watched my previous videos or if you have subscribed to my channel, again, make sure you do that right now. You will know that you cannot purchase bus tickets online in Brazil directly with these Brazilian bus companies unless you have a CPF number. I've described this in previous videos of mine, but if you do want to reserve your bus tickets online instead of purchasing them in person, what you can do is you can use the BusBud website. You do not need to use a Brazilian CPF number to book bus tickets via the BusBud website. It is a little bit more expensive because they do add on fees, but if you do want to book online and have the comfort of knowing that your ticket is reserved, then use BusBud. Now, I did mention earlier on in this video that if you are on a budget, Tiradentes accommodation at the weekend can be a little bit pricier. So what you can do to save money is very simply just stay in São João instead, because accommodation in São João is around 30 to 40% cheaper than the accommodation you'd be paying for in Tiradentes. And by the way, I would not dedicate a lot of time to visiting São João. There are a couple of pretty churches and some nice cobbled streets, but apart from that, most of the town is pretty ugly and quite hectic. So I did not like São João, but if you do want to save money, that is an option. And also, I did allude to a fun way of getting to Tiradentes, and the fun way to get to Tiradentes is you can take the steam train from São João over to Tiradentes. There is a steam train that runs between the two towns. So when you get to São João, you want to head to this place here, Estação Ferroviária. That's the train station, and there you can purchase your tickets on the machines. The price as of 2025 is 86 reais each way. It's kind of a little bit expensive, but it is what it is. And by the way, really important, make sure if you're going to use the steam train, you bring your passport with you, because if you are a foreigner, you need to bring your passport. They require you to have your passport there. So make sure you have your passport. And for your reference, the train station in Tiradentes is here. So if you need to get back to São João, you need to head to this station that you see on the screen right now. Now, if you do happen to have a CPF number, you can use this website you see on the screen to book the train tickets online. But if you don't have a CPF, you can't book the tickets online. So obviously you'll have to go to one of the counters at one of these stations. Now, the last thing I did want to mention is that the Uber application did not work for me, neither in São João del Rei nor Tiradentes. Even though my Airbnb host did say that Uber should work in São João, it did not work for me. No trips were available. Maybe it's because I have a foreign phone number, and maybe because Uber only works in São João if you have a Brazilian phone number. I don't know. But if you do need any taxi drivers, I'm sure that your Airbnb host or your hotel will be able to help you out, especially in São João, because the bus terminal is a little bit far from the main town. But Tiradentes is pretty small. I'd say it's quite walkable. And if you do have kids, or if you are a family, you can go around the town by horse and cart, which may be a fun little activity to do.